So today's topic is, you will say I'm crazy, but today's topic is become a human being. Think about real self. So please don't get offended. Don't you see me that I'm a human being? But let us understand that what our masters are saying. Do you get anything or acquire anything without thinking? Who is he or she? Oh, my honey. Where is your house? You see, every moment we human beings think. You all are seekers, so now we are understanding how to become a seeker. So the title is Become a Human Being and Think About Real Self. So I've already told you that, don't you see me that I'm a human being? So how the masters gives you an understanding that what actually, how we become a human being as a thinker. So what happens when you start thinking? You raise your self-awareness. And the mind leaves its habitual thinking. Mind leaves its habitual thinking. You know, the way I told you, greater the beard, greater the suspicion. You see, that is one way to think. Other way, longer the beard, greater the wisdom. So you see, it's a point of thinking. But if I don't think, we solve problem. We solve our problems of life by thinking. You have a debt. Example, your father or sibling can remove the debt. You are hungry. Then what? Does your father eat and your hunger will be gone? Pay attention to this part. Our goal is, in this series, is to become a seeker. Then I will pick up one of the higher texts and you are listening and you are there. That is how we say. You know, I gave an example, simple example. You have a debt. You have a burden on your shoulder. I can ease it. But what about my hunger? I have to eat it. So it means I have to think. Yeah, I have to think. Never remain a non-thinker. Who is a non-thinker? The entire living species except human being. And if we become a non-thinker, then what happens? If we become a non-thinker, what happens? A driver who was driving the dead bodies for more than 25 years. He wanted to change his profession. So he became a cab driver. He got the first rider. Uber. So he became the Uber driver and he got his first rider. The rider was friendly like me. He patted on his shoulder. And he started shivering, trembling with the fear. Why? What happened? Why you are trembling? This is my first time that I'm driving. The driver said, and nobody touched me, patted me on my shoulder in the last 25 years. Did you understand? When you are driving dead bodies, nobody is going to pat on your shoulder. Do you see that? That is the way we have certain habits, certain habitual thoughts, and we bring it into our mind and we say, oh, this is, I'm thinking like this. So what happens to that habitual thinking? You invite likes and dislikes, you invite pain and pleasure, you invite, what do you invite? A host of other thoughts, habitual thoughts, instinctive, impulsive. Did you pay attention to the cab driver, what he said? In the last 25 years, nobody patted on my shoulder. How the dead body can pat your shoulder? What happened, Kate? Now he's a cab driver, so no need to be scared. So what it takes, we have to be a thinker, and that thinker has to be pertaining to the real self. What is happening to our life? Days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years, we have the same habitual thinking. Tell me if it is not. We have to be thinking consciously, making a right choice, followed by the practice. That will take us to become a seeker. So one master, it's a beautiful verse, I'll translate into English. It has got the 15 chapters. 5 chapters it talks about only what is consciousness. 5 chapters it talks about what exactly is the happiness. And the 5 chapters what it talks about existence. So existence, consciousness and bliss, that is what we want to know. So he says now, then we will understand. He says, among all the living creatures, a human birth is very hard to obtain. Do you appreciate that? Do you appreciate that? Dog is hurt. The dog knows where the medical doctor is. I know it. That is why we are a rare living species. Now, first point. Further, more difficult it is to attain fullness of a human being. How I perceive the world, habitually or mechanically. How I work, unconsciously, habitually or consciously. So he is pointing that even rare is the Sattvic attitude. The Sattvic attitude in Eastern wisdom is known that the mind is seeking knowledge for the real self and the happiness in life. So you see the step by step. Even then the steadfast on the path of Eastern wisdom is rare. Correct knowledge of the Eastern wisdom to find my real self is rarer. And then comes, have I started thinking between the real and the unreal so that I can settle, I can find out the real self. Then he says, indeed, this awakening is no matter of a chance. Hundreds, millions of years lived unconsciously, habitually. We don't get anywhere. We continue to suffer. So now pick up the first one. Become a human being means not think about yourself. Think about yourself. We have been thinking about everyone except ourselves. I take myself for granted. I'm good. But many people say you are not good. So what is the pointer? The pointer here is animal to the human birth is rare. Only the human being can follow the Eastern wisdom. First step is already done by the nature. Did we have a choice to become a human being? John, do you have a choice? We don't have a choice. So can that choice be taken as a grace by the existence that we have become a human being? We have a human birth. Now pay attention to this. First step done by the nature. Animal is programmed by the nature, guided by the 4 instincts. Instincts means nature. What it means? Predispositions, tendencies, biases. Animal remain animal throughout their life. Do you agree? We have a choice. Can I think of it? Can I think of it? You see, these masters were really crazy. They found out that there are 8.4 million living species in the universe. They have also categorized water-based animal, 0.9 million. Immobile plants and trees, 1.1 million. Reptiles, 1 million. Terrestrial, 3 million. Human-like, including mammals, 0.4 million, and total comes to 8.4 million. Only 1 out of 8.4 million species as a human being, we can be a thinker. Are we a thinker? Now the second step, he says, now do you become a human being? What is the difference? I have an intellect. Do I think about it? Do I think consciously? Now I gave you an example. I just asked, how are you? Peace and happiness are my essential nature. I have started thinking. Stephen just said, we shy of thinking like this. No, come on, I have a lot of problems. First, let me solve all the problems and then I will think. Second step. You see, the way the master says, 8.4 million species. After that, fullness of a human being, which is rare, we don't think. The moment you start thinking, 80% of your habitual, instinctive and impulsive thoughts leaves you. You feel lightness. So first thing, so now what it takes to be a thinker. Now here comes the science and Eastern wisdom goes together. Remember, observe, choice, control. 3 abilities of an intellect. Observe. I can take example of John all the time. I see John. What is my perception of a John? Now I'm a little scared of beautiful women here, if I take their example. So you see that? Conscious, observe. What do I observe when I say John? First, what choice I make. 2, and then I hold on my intellect on that thinking. You see honey? Observe. How do you see honey? Because of the past memory or image, or consciously, here and now? I mean when I say honey, I have a love and affection for the honey. That is why I say honey. Or do I follow the programmed mind, then I'm not a human being. Who says? Masters are saying. Master does not say that you believe me. The moment any teacher says you believe me, it means there's a beginning of a cult and a dogma and a religion. This is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. 2 points. Now come to the third point. Third point says, third step. The fullness of a human being comes when this intellect, this mind or intellect, lives in sattvic attitude. So what is sattvic attitude? It is constantly in search for knowledge and happiness. Knowledge and happiness. Now a person comes, I have a lot of problems, Sorry. Excuse me. Third step, knowledge and happiness. Fourth step, from sattvic attitude, now you tell your intellect, let me find real self. So fourth step is from the sattvic attitude to a desire for self-discovery. Fifth, right knowledge about the self-discovery. So you see the difference between. We have hundreds of popular styles of yoga. Let it be there. We need not to criticize them. Continue the journey. But what is we want? A right knowledge. I should have a right question in my mind that the entire Eastern wisdom, whether it is yoga, kundalini, mindfulness, meditation, tantra, etc., etc., you said the goal is self-discovery, goal is awakening, where it is, how to get it. But if I am not a seeker, what happens? Oh, you will see great colors and visions. Oh, I see colors. Okay, guide me meditation. You will have lot of powers. You are already powerful. What powers you need? Master says. So you see that right knowledge about this self-discovery is extremely important. No cult, dogma, religion. And what is the sixth step? So now we have lot of false notions by habit, by liking, by disliking. I have to separate all of them from the intellect to become a thinker. That is one of the most important quality of a seeker. You should have a courage to ask questions to the teacher, leaving aside beard and etc. That's why I gave that example. You should not be concerned about what the teacher looks like. Do you see that? Seventh step is the practice. Until the sixth step, I have to internalize the knowledge. Then you are a seeker. And when you are a seeker, the eighth step comes. Now remember, my master used to say self-discovery is not a matter of chance. You have to make an effort to reach there. So you see, from human being to a seeker. First, I am a living species, recognized with a two-legged animal. Am I working like an animal or working like a human being? I am a human being. I can think. So why should I get upset? My master used to say, if you get upset, if you are reacting, you are inserting yourself as a human being. How many times you inserted last week? Don't tell me. You see the beauty, if you understand the knowledge, if we have a fairly average intellect, am I insulting myself for small things in my life? Come on. See that. Only that person becomes a seeker in the life. The same master talks about why there are three things that are extremely rare. What is rare? Human birth, I have already explained to you. Second thing is rare in the human intellect, that I want to know myself. We always want to know the Mars and the moons. That is okay. We want to know if my honey... Complete your sentence. Huh? So, two things are rare. And what is the third? What is the third? That anyone, you are in contact with anyone who is passing on this wisdom to you. And you are ready to listen. You are ready to accept and contemplate and reflect, want to treat that path. Three things are rare. Now see another perspective of the human birth. As a human being, we have a right mixture of pain and pleasure, likes and dislikes. Now see, we are using even our problems as an opportunity. Other people, the tiger, they continue, they fight, they get hurt and they die. They don't go anywhere. We have a right mixture of pain and pleasure. Why I have a pain? I have a right to think. I can think. I get rid of it. Other births have continuous anxiety, insecurity, fear. Fight for the food. Look at it. Do you see that? And there are people who dream of going to heaven. They live with the same habit. Other people are totally absorbed into pleasure seeking. Eat, drink and marry. Yeah? They don't want to think beyond that. For them, this Eastern wisdom is not for them. Do you see that? I have to think. From a non-thinker, I have to become a thinker. How? No, I have been thinking since I'm born. No, check that. Are you thinking in this way? That this human birth is a rare? Can I prove that it is definitely a rare birth? Again, I remember what my master, one cannot get a doctorate in foolishness if one does not utilize such a rare opportunity to make a rapid progress towards the self-discovery. So what we are saying, what the Eastern wisdom is saying, one person asked me a question that, do we need a teacher? I said, you have proved yourself. That's why you are asking a question. Why should I go further? Why should I go further? Tell me. So that is a habitual thinking. That is a habitual thinking. I'm not saying to you all what the master is saying. That is what I'm quoting. Sometimes we get offended on small things. So that's why I'm writing. So the master is saying that is there a greater fool than the man who neglects his effort to rediscover himself or herself? Having got the rare chance of human birth, the knowledge is available, you have that attitude, the summary is we all have the same mind, whether you say mind or intellect, whatever you want to say. It is the same thing. Structurally they are one, functionally they are different. So from a non-thinker I should become a thinker. And aligned with the modern science, they say that this mind has a capacity or intellect, has a power to observe. Do I observe John dispassionately or passionately? With a passion. With a passion, past habit. I brand it. I create an image. I think about it. Drop all this. Second, after observation, let me make a choice. So I have an option. So with that option, the person who has an intellect, has an ability, I should filter out what is not required. Now I look at what my intellect has to do to think that he is good or bad. Are you understanding? That is our animal nature. And then I hold on the intellect. I have to do nothing with who is good or bad. I have to look at myself. That makes us a seeker. So once you are a seeker, then you will understand these principles easily. And when you understand these principles easily, after that comes the practice. So let us start our practice now. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. First stage, remember the first stage. I am a thinker, yes. A conscious thinker, yes. So your intellect is guiding you. I don't feel as if I have guided anyone for the last 40 years. How do I know it? Let us see that. That is what the stage 1 of the meditation practice. Look at the body. Who is looking? The intellect becomes aware of the body. Do I hold your hand and ask you that become aware of the body? Please respect, honor your own intellect. You are aware of the body. Body is steady. Who knows? The intellect knows. Look inside the forehead in the space. Who is doing this? You, your intellect. If you are not a seeker, intellect does not support you, so that you have lot of thoughts. You don't follow the instructions. And then we go again, we extend the support to our intellect. How? By being comfortable, my friends. Did I say what my master used to say? When I insert myself, I follow habit, impulse, instinct. Intellect says, hold on. Look at the neck joint. Be there. Feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints. You are there. So who drives you away from the shoulder joints? Non-thinker. No, let me put it that way. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Hip joint. When I said hip joint, is your intellect clear what I am saying? You observe. The intellect continuously makes a choice, leaving aside all the organs and the limbs. That intellect is aware of the hip joint. See that. And then holding on. So when you hold on, what happens? You feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And then carefree. Carefree, the state of being carefree also takes place in the intellect. In the human intellect. I'm not saying animals are not intelligent. I'm saying our human intellect has the capacity, power to observe, to make a choice, to filter out what is not required. So what is not required at this time? The thoughts, feelings, sensation, images that appear and disappear in the mind. Let it come, let it go. I trust you got it. So any thought 10 years ago pops up into the mind. Yesterday thought pops up into the mind. No worries. Your intellect is 100% aware. Not to get carried away by any thought that comes from the habit, past, memory at this moment. How simple it is. You see, when you have a right knowledge, then it is very easy to do it. So in that state, that is, it may be a preparatory stage, but later I will say it is the stage when we become the highest level of a seeker. Oh, is that possible? Yes. It is 100% possible. But we will continue purifying the mind. Now you understand what it means by purification of the mind. So that, come on, this mind or intellect, you should focus on the knowledge and happiness. Leave all the extras, extensions caused by the habitual mind, animal mind, instinctive mind, impulsive mind. Very good. So look inside the forehead in the space and playful breathing from both the nostrils into the rib cage. Just continue as if you have set the breathing on a cruise and you are continuing. The mind will come up, it will object, but you continue. Can you continue? Let us see. Playful, gentle breathing. Don't link it with any Hatha Yoga practices. We have already covered Yoga Sutra. Equal rhythmic breath, gentle, playful breath, as if you are playing with the breath. Only the human intellect can do it. Continue. And stop. They start breathing deep, silent, slow. First into the belly, then into the rib cage, up to the throat and the neck. Focus remains inside the forehead. And start doing the humming sound. Louder, deeper, longer. Don't forget to inhale silently, deeply. It is a check on your mind. The mind does not become habitual. It does not inhale with a noise in a hurry. That is an anxious moment. Continue. this practice, what happens when you continue to do the humming, your breath rate from a healthy breath rate of 18 to 21 drops down to hardly 4 or less than 4 breaths a minute. That has to calm down your brain. There is no other option. There are a lot of research studies done on respiratory biofeedback, and it proves that. But we are not going there. Let us continue to do the same practice. You inhale for 10 seconds, retain for 15 seconds, and we use our intellect with the mantra. The intellect should settle in that knowledge in the mantra. The first mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Let there be a well-being for all. Inhale deeply, deep, silent and slow into your belly and the rib cage. Retain the breath, mental. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Release the breath. When you are doing it mentally, the mental recitation of mantra is 1,000 times more powerful than reciting it loudly. You see, at every step, the Master makes everything amply clear. Inhale deeply, deep, silent and slow. Maybe you can focus inside the heart. Hold the breath. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal. Does the mind leave the breath on its own, and then you find within 2 or 3 breaths the breath becomes perfectly normal, or it is normal from the first breath? You have achieved it. Do you see the point? Let us do it again, 3rd time. Inhale deep, silent and slow for 10 seconds. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Release the breath and check. First breath is so normal. No, we have to wait for some time. That is how you understand you need to continue a particular practice. Inhale deeply, continue to inhale. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, we are going to do it. May there be peace for all. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Release the breath. Check. Inhale, deep, silent, slow breath. You are looking inside the heart. Retain the breath and mental chanting with the knowledge. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Release the breath, you know it. Nothing extreme should be done. If you follow the extreme in order to get the result fast, you will definitely be frustrated. Failure will touch your feet. Inhale deeply into your belly and the rib cage. The intellect is keeping your focus inside the heart. Hold the breath. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Release the breath. When you release the breath, as if you are totally free from doing everything, anything, what happens in that moment? The intellect shines. Inhale deeply, continue to inhale. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sense of completeness. May there be completeness. So hold the breath now. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Release the breath. The intellect is shining. Where it shines with the knowledge that there is a completeness in me. That sense of completeness gives the stillness in you, the quietness of the mind, and the quiet mind is a happy mind. Inhale deeply into your belly, rib cage. Hold the breath. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Release the breath. I believe you are checking every time when you release the breath. Very first breath appears to be perfectly normal. There is no pull and push. There is no fast expulsion. Means what? Mind is already there, inside. That's how you know it. Inhale deeply into your belly and the rib cage. Continue. Continue. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sense of completeness. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Release the breath. Let the day come when you realize it is the intellect. It is your mind that is holding the body with the knowledge. That keeps the mind within. Last one, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Inhale, deep, silent and slow. Mangalam, all the three attributes merged together. Hold the breath inside. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. In fact, when you release the breath, the intellect remains inside the heart and it perceives that auspiciousness. Inhale deeply, silent and slow. Continue inhaling. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. How beautiful it is going on. From outside I can see and feel. Inhale deeply again into the belly and the rib caves. Now retain the breath. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Auspiciousness. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. Is our intellect ready to explore? First, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body. Moving the mind. Look inside the body, calmness and quietness. Then look at the heart, in the space, and in that space find a milestone, the first milestone. Drop. Shantoham, I'm the peace. Allow the intellect to move further. Find another milestone inside the heart. The intellect says, I cannot go further. No problem. Shantoham. When you say Shantoham, it will open the door. You can move further. Shantoham means I am the peace. How do I see I am the peace? I gave you an example that I see John. So I see that through the intellect, the infinite space. I see that infinite. Continue to find the milestone. Continue to find the milestone inside the heart, in the space. One day what will happen, that the mind or the intellect does not want to move further. Why? You already encountered your real self. Real self never moves. It is a state of consciousness. You have transcended the mind. I can use many words and phrases for it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So sometime when I recite this mantra, and that goes directly as if this recitation thrills, means what we have somehow touched that. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Check the mind is not in a hurry to lift your both the hands. Oh, it says no. Now lift your both the hands, place it on your palms. Place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Check your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, David and
Jerry? Yes, it was very, very good. It was two things I noticed. One, high body temperature increasing through the whole meditation, and then actually three things I noticed. By the end, I forgot the last mantra that you did. I've never gotten so deep before. It's just like I plunged into this big open area.
Beautiful.
And it went by very quick.
Beautiful. We spent the same time. How are you, Jerry? That's so beautiful.
I'm doing well, sir. It was great. I had an interesting experience during one part of the breathing where I had a fruit fly or something go up my nostril. I was kind of like, that's interesting. And then I just forgot about it. And then when you said to, with the holding of the breath, and when you said not to think about the exhale, because normally I exhale and think about letting it be slow. And as soon as I just forgot about the exhale, that was, like you've said, just a tremendous freedom.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. That is good experience. How are you, Lara?
I am well. It was quiet. I also had different than David. I got really cold, and then I got hot at the end, just like a little bit. So that was kind of interesting.
And very calm and quiet.
It was calm. I had a lot of body sensations, though.
Yeah.
I had a lot of moving and stuff happening.
Yeah. It's okay. So, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a progress. How are you, Brandy?
Good. It was dark and quiet and present.
Present.
And at one point, I don't get a lot of images, but at one point I just pictured like an arm and a bouquet of flowers. Some flowers. It was nice.
Nice. Yes. It's a progress. How are you, Stephen?
Real good. It was interesting moments. When I first closed my eyes to start the meditation, I was surrounded by a swarm of bees, and all around me. And as soon as they finished surrounding me, they all just went away.
Good.
And I had no movement, nothing. It didn't bother me. I wasn't fazed by it. I struggled with the fast breathing to begin with, and realized and made the connection that I struggled because my mind was focused in on it. And as soon as I let go of that, it became very easy to do. During the Sarve Sham mantra, each one that you did, of the four, I just felt this sensation and pulsating of my heart center. and it just getting more and more intense with each one. And when you finished, that was it. I was just in a dark place, similar to what David described.
Yeah, it's a deeper experience. You see, I say John or Stephen, so mind instantly picturized that image. Can it happen? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. The intellect leaves everything. Now it is in peace. So when that happens, then you have cold and this warm experiences and those charming. How are you, Christina?
That was wonderful. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I had some tears. I don't know if you saw, but very happy tears.
Very happy tears.
Because I've had the realization. I'd like to share, I had some of the same experiences as Jerry and Stephen with once I remembered to stop focusing on doing that, the breath work, then it just flowed. And that's where I have struggled with a lot of my past anxieties and stuff. But today I felt such a warm overflow of
joy.
Sorry, I am just full of joy,
it's okay.
and I'm so grateful to be. Sorry, I'm taking a moment.
I am grateful to you.
Yeah, so it was very. Now I'm getting nervous tears. So sorry, but I can't explain it. But it was
beautiful.
I felt the completeness inside me. So thank you for helping me get there. So thank you.
You are helping yourself. Who the hell I am helping others? You are helping yourself. I'm 100% clear about it. How are you, Kate?
Amen, brother. I was the person who you might have been talking to who didn't want to come out.
Ah, good.
I didn't. Initially thoughts, and then I did that. Okay, mind. This too shall pass.
Yes.
And that worked really well, actually. And because I don't know, that doesn't happen a lot. A lot of times I don't have a lot of thoughts, but there was initially thinking. And then with the breathing, it actually happened with the breathing because I had like a little tickle in one of my nostrils. And so that was part of the thing. Is like, okay, this too shall pass. And then it passed. And it was a beautiful, just quiet, peaceful.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful.
Not really expansive, and not the body.
Not the body. You see, based on your experiences and other experiences everyone has shared, do you see the point here? The first, we start with a talk, with a particular principle. It goes into our mind. Intellect becomes clear. The role of those principles are 80%, and the role of the practice is hardly 20%. That needs to be understood. It means that knowledge should be settled in my mind, in intellect. That is giving such a beautiful experiences, and you are responsible for it. Good or bad. At least I get rid of, even if you have bad experiences, I get rid of that also. How are you, John?
Well, that was very peaceful.
Very peaceful. Beautiful. How are you, Antoinette?
That was also very peaceful. I also struggled with a twitch on my cheek, and I wanted to just reach up and scratch, and that's what I was concentrating on.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon it was gone, and I just couldn't feel my body anymore, and also experienced the pulsating, and I have to say I feel more rested right now than a full night's sleep.
That happens. That's a beautifully sad. I used to see that if you have hangovers due to disturbed sleep, and you are absorbed into a deeper meditation. Let me put it in a rephrase it. If you have a successful meditation, that reduces not only the hours of sleep, but removes your hangover completely. And there is a reason. How are you, Terry? You know, when I share your experiences, it gives me an opportunity what should be a couple of sessions in the future looks like. So I pick up the principle. Oh, yes, that is how I work. You might have known it, you know, you guys are intelligent. So how are you, Terry?
I liked being in there. I had a good experience. You know, everything went very smoothly, and I was able to do it, and that was good. I didn't have any trouble, and it was just sort of calm and.
If Terry can do it, why can't we do it? Can you think in that way?
Sometimes I can do it. And then
we will make it every time.
Between my heart and head. Heart and head.
No worries, Terry.
My attention was getting.
We will make some time every time.
Okay.
Very good. Is there Ashok there? You know, those who, I don't see the videos, so I have to tease them, you know, otherwise you don't know you are already in a session. Virtually it shows up, but how are you, Ashok? I know you like breathing practices. So, any question that you like to ask? We are going ahead with these Becoming a Seeker series will help us to go deeper and deeper. Is there any question? That is all for today. Thank you.
Girish.
Yes.
Really quickly, because you changed the title, do you have a different write-up that you would have